that's another thing. Calvin is someone that he's like, when I ain't had no pops, Calvin was the person that you feel me, stepped in them shoes. So no matter if he's not my coach, anything like that, he's always gonna be in my life.
That's it.
Can you allude to more about growing up with Lamont Roach in the gym? I know you said it was.
Oh man, them two used to go at it. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tank was from Baltimore, Roach was from DC, and not knowing that Tank was.
That just leaves somebody at a distinct disadvantage, and I think that's unfair. And so that's how I look at it, and that's what bothers me about Gervonta fighting this guy.
When Lamont Roach Jr. allegedly suggested that Coach Calvin Ford wasn't doing enough in camp for Gervonta Tank, Davis's fight, Tank didn't hold back. He fired back with raw intensity and fierce loyalty to his trainer in an explosive moment. Caught on camera, Davis scornfully dismissed Roach's implication, standing firmly behind Ford and asserting that the critique was not only baseless, but outright disrespectful. The fiery exchange highlighted Davis's fierce protectiveness over his team and underscored the simmering tension surrounding the controversial majority draw with Roach.
Lamont, I don't know the exact details or stuff that we've heard, but I think he's going to have Calvin in his corner this time. I think he will have Kenny, but he's not going to have Calvin. I think that's probably going to be like an advantage for you since he's going to have somebody new in his corner, if I'm not mistaken.
More than likely. I think that's a little weird. You know what I'm saying? Be with your trainer, your lifetime, your career trainer, and to to not have him as your head trainer in the corner. So that might be a difference maker for him. You never know. I think me personally as a boxing fan, I think Calvin fits him the best. Knowing boxing inside and out, I think Calvin fits him the best. So who knows?
With Lamont Roach Jr. at Barclays Center on March 1st, 2025, the night delivered more than just a competitive bout. It sparked a full-blown narrative. What ended as a majority draw was more than a blemish on Tank's previously unblemished record. It became a flashpoint for drama questions arose about Calvin Ford unrest in camp and the brewing anticipation for an electrifying rematch.
So, Rick Glazer is reporting that Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach sold 149,000 pay-per-view buys. And he tweeted this report at Turkey Ala Sheik. Coincidence? Truthful? Do you trust Rick Glazer's reporting on this issue? If you do, let me know why. If you don't, let me know why not. But you best believe I have a long video coming on this later today. Y'all be sure to check that out. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Boxer Keyshawn Davis criticized Tank Davis, suggesting that Tank lacked focus during the fight against Lamont Roach. He implied that Davis's mindset wasn't fully in the ring, which may have impacted his performance. Many fans agreed, believing that distractions outside of boxing contributed to Tank's uncharacteristic struggles in the highly awaited matchup.
Like Tank overall, like the bigger picture, he just wasn't focused for real. He, doing a lot of arguing in the ring and just a lot of stuff that wasn't like, he wasn't just focused. He wasn't all the way locked in the ring. You heard him say something like, it's a lot of things going on outside the ring that he was leading up to the fight, and shit, that's natural, you know what I'm saying? It's normal. Shit, I was going through the same thing with this last fight, you know, so I just feel like he just wasn't focused.
Tank Davis's lackluster performance against Lamont Roach left many fans disappointed and raised doubts about whether he was still at his peak. The absence of his longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, only intensified speculation that Davis had suffered. Without his guiding presence, some believed Ford's absence played a critical role in Tank not looking as sharp as he once did.
Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach goes to a majority decision draw, with Tank retaining his WBA lightweight title. Now, I did not score this fight a draw. I had it 7-5 to Lamont Roach. I thought he had the ring generalship and effective pressure. He was landing the jab and effective combinations. Tank, as usual, had a very low output, and he was relying on one big shot. I gave Roach the first 3 rounds, Tank the next 3 rounds, and then Roach Ford the last 6 rounds to win the fight. Not to mention, Tank did take a knee in the middle of the fight. By rule, that should have been considered a knockdown. Yes, it was to get his mouthpiece, and that's why they didn't rule it a knockdown. But anytime a fighter takes a knee, that's a knockdown. And that would have given Roach 1 more point to win the fight. Now, I'm sure they'll run it back. Lamont Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. He just had the fight of his life. He wasn't scared to go toe-to-toe with Tank. Landing his combinations, the bigger counters, and the more effective shots. he definitely deserves a second payday. Now, in the co-main event, Gary Antoine Russell put on an amazing performance. I think he won 11 or 12 rounds against Raya Valenzuela. Great hand speed, good combinations, masterclass to win the WBA title. And then in the featured bout, Alberto Puello beat Sandor Martin to retain his WBC title. He landed the cleaner left hands, definitely won the last 2 to 3 rounds to edge the fight. But overall, good card. I do think Roach won the fight, though.
The climax of the bout came in round 9 when Davis took a knee after a jab something even referee Steve Willis later admitted should have been ruled a knockdown. But Willis let the moment slide, allowing Tank's corner to wipe his face, and no, count was given. The crowd erupted in boos and the boxing community cried foul. After the fight, Davis claimed the knee was due to a greasy hair product that had irritated his eyes, a reason that few accepted Roach. Meanwhile, emphatically stated that he deserved the win.
He take a knee. You need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure.
To override his decisions or knockdowns. Some skeptics have suggested that Willis's call benefited Davis unfairly, but we do not subscribe to that notion. In our long experience judging fights, we see no evidence of favoritism, only a referee prioritizing the physical safety of a fighter who appeared compromised by an eye injury. Which I actually get. I understood that statement because, hey, look, Steve Willis he didn't call it a knockdown.
You take a knee like that, that looks like a knockdown. All right.
So I think it's going to be very difficult for the New York State Athletic Commission to review this.
Speaking further about the 9th round controversy, Gervonta Davis explained that he took a knee because something got into his eye and he didn't want anyone to notice. He admitted his lack of awareness of the consequences, saying, "But I didn't. No, I could get disqualified for this." His admission sparked even more debate about the fairness of the fight's outcome.
But I must say, throw it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than But I didn't really know that you can get disqualified for all that. Or when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell?
Following their contentious bout, tensions between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach escalated online, especially on social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. Both fighters engaged in heated public exchanges debating the outcome of their first fight and teasing the possibility of a rematch, keeping fans and analysts hooked on the ongoing drama.
He forget that, let me take a knee. That's a knockdown. But either way, it looked like they may have an immediate rematch. Roach and Gervonta Tank Davis goes back and forth on X, and here's what they say. It seems to me that, okay, if the New York State Athletic Commission overturns the result of the fight, then yeah, it's an immediate rematch anyway. Like Lamont Roach said, he has it in the contract. But if it remains a draw, it looks like Tank's still going to push for the rematch. And I'm hearing that, the fight that they were going to have, which would delay this rematch, was a fight with Pitbull. You can argue that a rematch with Lamont Roach would be far bigger than a rematch with Pitbull. But let me know how you feel in the comments below. Showbiz, don't.
Calvin Ford has been in Davis's corner since childhood, guiding him from a troubled young boy into a multi-division world champion. But Ford has never been just a coach. He's been a mentor and surrogate father. After serving 10 years in federal prison in the 1980s, Ford devoted his life to saving youth through boxing. He met a 7-year-old Gervonta Davis at the Upton Boxing Center and took him under his wing, determined to keep him off the streets.
Well, it was just the work. When we first started, man, it was nobody in the gym. And how would I sit there say one kid and another kid and another kid, and they seen the love that we was giving. Everybody keeps thinking it's boxing. It's not boxing. It's basically giving them an opportunity to be themselves.
Yeah.
And I always preach that because I sit there and tell them all the time. I say, all that's going to get old, so I need y'all to grow up quick.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So when we in the gym, we're not just teaching boxing, we teaching life skills.
So
what are you going to do to me?
Nothing.
And y'all seen the results.
Seen the results.
Seen the results of it. You know, everybody kept saying it was this, it was that. You know what I'm saying? And they only found increments of it. You know what I'm saying? But it spoiled the win.
Exactly.
It spoiled the win. But
despite their decades-deep bond, Gervonta Davis and head trainer Calvin Ford briefly went their separate ways ahead of the March 1st, 2025 bout against Lamont Roach Jr. The split shocked many in the boxing world and fueled more speculation about Tank's mental and tactical state heading into the fight.
What's the best for him? I'm hoping that he do what I need him to do. You know what I'm saying? You see how I asked him, are you ready? You know what I'm saying? Because I need somebody that's going to really push Tank so I can see different levels of it. This time I had a chance to step back. Everybody keeps saying, they changing up stuff. No, we ain't changed up anything. It's the same thing we always do. You know?
Going into the, the training camp, how was it? Or you said yes, you stepped back a little bit. Well, how was it, splitting the time? How's it going to be splitting the time to
No, this is
Saturday
something
night?
that we do all the time. You know what I'm saying? Right now, y'all know all I got to do is speak. Man, take out history. Since he was a kid.
Bill Haney, father and trainer of Devin Haney, openly criticized Davis's decision to part ways with Ford. In an interview, Haney asserted that it was Tank's own choice to dismiss Ford and expressed concern about the potential implications such a move could have on Davis's career.
They won't cover the fact of the Lions podcast will not cover the fact that Calvin and Kenny they got fired. Now, if Devin fired me, it would be, well, they got fired.
I didn't know that was real. I thought that was some cat.
They're trying to be quiet. Man, they done got fired, man. Them people done got fired, man. They hoping they get hired. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they're working on getting back.
Man, Calvin came in on there with them. He had them GTD first shorts, with them GTD leggings, with that GTD Kango cap, with that GTD glasses, GTD shirt. Man, guess what? The man gave him a hug, man, and left him in the hallway. And everybody want to act like that they not really. See, they keep that magnifying glass on us. And yeah.
Another member of Team Davis trainer Barry took a more neutral stance regarding Ford's absence. While acknowledging Ford's brilliance as a coach, Barry simply remarked, "Boxing is boxing," suggesting that changes in a team, even major ones, are simply part of the sport's unpredictable nature.
That was good, you know what I mean? With us is always good. Of course, boxing is boxing, and you can see have some unforeseen things go on. But for the most part, we had a great time.
Very good. And how's he looking in camp? What are you expecting from him on fight night?
He was sharp, just to be Tank. You know what I mean? Tank being Tank. Just a little different for us because this is somebody that's close, to us. You know what I mean? Somebody we got love for. And normally the people we fight, people we don't know. So you can be as mean as nasty as you want to. But for this fight, we got to cast our feelings aside for that 36 minutes or whatever it is and take care of business. That's it. Yeah.
Ford, for his part, chose not to travel with Davis for that camp, instead focusing on youth training back home. He framed the decision not as a split, but as a strategic pause, saying, "I'm still part of it, just from a different perspective." He emphasized that time apart allowed both men to appreciate each other more deeply.
Tiring, and he was done.
Y'all have to understand. Y'all have to understand. He's a young man. He have a family. He want to do something. Enjoy something. Don't take some time. I took a little bit of time out. You know what I'm saying? It refreshes. Get you back on that. So tonight, he had a chance for me not being around him a lot. You know what I'm saying? I stepped in and I seen how he missed me and how I missed him. You know what I'm saying? I just can't wait to see. Yep.
Without Ford in his corner, Davis ended up drawing Roach the first blemish on his record. The outcome prompted widespread speculation that Ford's absence had cost Tank strategically. The controversy led to a reunion with Ford returning to the training. Camp Davis praised the reconnection and looked visibly relieved to have his longtime mentor back, marking a full-circle moment that reignited their emotional and tactical bond ahead of the rematch.
Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 feet in and 1 feet out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it. Like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left, and unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like that. Do you want him to go to jail or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
The gym had become a second home for Davis, a place of structure, discipline, and love. For him, Ford wasn't just a coach, but a father figure. Their relationship went far beyond boxing. It was forged in trust, struggle, and mutual upliftment.
Calvin Ford, what does he mean to you when you hear that name? What does he mean when you first hear that?
A father. Father. And then he's one of the guys that held a lot of this, like, this whole family together. Him with Kenny. But for sure, like, them two, they held the whole camp together. For sure.
Wouldn't be here without him? Would you say that? Without Calvin?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be there without him. Just off of the fact of when I was coming to the gym, I was getting that love that I ain't have at home type stuff. So it was always like, Calvin, saying I walked through the gym, Calvin, like, looking for him type stuff.
He told me he used to come to the gym and you'd be outside, sleep in front of the gym, in front of the door.
Yeah, I used to run from I go to school, and then from school, I go straight to the gym. Don't tell my grandma or nothing. Just go straight to the gym. And the gym was closed. The gym didn't even, I used to get out of school probably 3 o'clock, and the gym didn't open till like 4:30. I'd just be outside just sleeping on the front of the gym, just waiting. Police grabbed me before, like, get up. I think I'm just out here just grab me, like, what you doing out here? I'm waiting on the gym.
All for a reason.
Yeah.
All for a reason.
Facts.
Does your team get nervous before fights?
I don't know. They probably do. I don't, but I don't get nervous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lying. Any fighter that say they don't get nervous.
As rumors about a potential permanent split spread, Davis addressed them directly. He told fans, Calvin ain't going anywhere and I ain't going anywhere either. Davis was adamant that their relationship remained solid. Ford, however, acknowledged that his role in Davis's career might have reached its natural conclusion. He stated that he had taught Tank all he could, and if Davis was ready to move on, he would accept it. For Ford, Davis's success, whether with him or without him, was the ultimate priority.
My journey's crazy. That's why I said that. You can't write this, man. You cannot write this. My experience being gone, and all the stuff that I went through, preparing me for where I'm entering. You know, man, Tank is older. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do, take us the rest of the way. And this is his take us the rest of the way fight.
Calvin Ford had guided young Davis through the perils of West Baltimore, using boxing as a lifeline to pull him away from street violence. He transformed the Upton Boxing Center into a sanctuary, a place of hope and focus. Ford's disciplined coaching helped Davis channel raw talent into world-class skill. Their shared journey reflected resilience, commitment, and the redemptive power of belief. However, Ford was blunt in his post-fight assessment of the Tank versus Roach bout. He believed Tank didn't bring his A-game. He noted that Davis had opportunities to dominate, but chose to box cautiously early on, failing to close rounds with his trademark aggression.
He just went like he said. We looked at 3 rounds. Brian was calling out, I need 3. We got 1. I need 2. He got the 2, but he forgot where he was at. He thought he was still in the 8th round. He thought he still had rounds to go.
Thought he still had rounds to go. Thought he was in the 8th round.
He was good. We just couldn't figure out why he wouldn't pick it up.
Right. And so I think it was a...
Ford believed Davis had the tools and the moments to end the fight early, but simply didn't capitalize. In Ford's eyes, it was a performance that lacked urgency and killer instinct, something he and Davis are determined to correct before the rematch. Ford viewed the draw not as a failure, but as a wake-up call.
What didn't he do in this fight that that you felt he could have done and whatnot, and pretty much opened the fight up to being a draw?
Well, like I said again, they've been knowing each other since they were little. Roach, he stepped up for the cause. He stepped up. You know what I'm saying? Again, Tank history, I always sit there and tell you, I don't like knockouts, like punishment, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes things gotta happen to make you get back to where you belong at, you know what I'm saying? And that was a good, skillful ass fight. Skillful. Both of them would take certain chances, some would take chances, you know what I'm saying? We seen, it's like we was on a boat, but it's just like this,
Sometimes Ford suggested a tough fight is necessary to regain sharpness and perspective. He acknowledged Roach's preparation and toughness. He absorbed punches that would have hurt most opponents, but the real takeaway was that Tank could have done more. The fight was too close, it didn't have to be. So what didn't he do in that fight? And what will he do differently in the rematch? And what do you think of Davis defending Calvin Ford so fiercely? Was Tank's response genuine loyalty or just pre-fight bravado? Drop your thoughts below.